Welcome back, everybody, to the Call of Duty Rec League. Another fantastic Thursday night, starting out with the Bronze Premade South, New York SubPar versus Boston Burgers. We're getting right into it. It's me, it's Jake, it's Wolfie tonight. Wolfie, how you feeling?
Feeling good, Jake. Super excited for these matches here. We're going to see a little bit of a mod showdown here. We're expecting a masterclass out of Brendy here.
I mean, you would have to hope so after all of his years in the Call of Duty Rec League. You got to think these Bronze Premade matches should be easy for him. But here we are, Bronze Premade South. New York SubPar, they're off to a slow start. Boston Burgers looking good so far. Cartman kills, picking up kills up top. And they're getting that map pressure toward P2. This is already looking dangerous. It's going to be a perfect first hold for the Burgers.
Yeah, absolutely, Jake. They've been setting up P1 very well. We're going to be about 45 points there going into P2, but we do see New York a very solid setup here on P2. We have people towards Soda. We have about 3 stack towards Hill here. So as long as Boston can stay away from the kills, it's looking like they're picking up a few kills. Got 2 in the back alley here. Gun Puppet's eventually going to pick up Cloud. Keith with another pickup there as well. But we do see Boston in control of this hill.
Yes, absolutely. You do have New York with those good spawns. Eric just trying to stay alive here. Cloud off to a hot start, 7-2 so far. Eric with a big kill in that diner side area, and they're just doing a good job of keeping this mixy. If you were New York, you wanted a good chunk of time on this hill, but Boston doing such a good job of making sure that doesn't happen. While there are 32 seconds left to go, I would have to say that after not having rotation, this is a hill W for the Boston Burgers because you still have their rotation anew on the way.
Yeah, absolutely. The Boston Burgers had a good start with P1, only going to let up about 30 or so points on P2, which is a pretty big win towards P2, and that rotation towards P3 is absolutely massive. A couple players are going to fall here towards New, though, so we'll see how New York decides to break this here with some split spawns coming out from the side of Boston.
You see Boston, they all spawn behind New York, so this is kind of New York's opportunity to fight for this new hill. You see 2D Train still just locking it down in that backside of the new hill. Not hopping on that time, just waiting for any fights to come on through. But you see New York, they're playing it slow, they're playing it steady. 2D gonna hop on in. There is New York SubPar players around, but they're playing this patient. The fights are gonna come soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see New York able to at least take the middle part of this hill here as Boston still spawning out towards that chicken side, and we do see some fights going down in the middle. Boston and New York are to be splitting those fights 2-2. New York still in control of this hard point. This is a huge 20 seconds for them to get back into this game, tied up around this 60 seconds here. As we see one last break trying to come through from the side of Boston, but we do see Boston starting to rotate near towards P4, able to get that clock side hill.
Eric gonna win with a big 2-piece on that old time, but it's not gonna be much behind it. You get those final 6 seconds, but you see it's gonna be fights here on the new hill. So far, it's Tej and Gun Puppet. Tej 8-4 so far, playing absolutely fantastic. That hill is gonna be white for the time being, but Cartman kills and Cloud with the first and second blood. Let's see if the trades come through for the New York SubPar. 2D watching over top. You see player 7, that's gonna be Tej. Gonna have to hold it down in the market, but it's all for naught. Brendy trying to fight. Nobody getting a lot of time here, and the New York SubPar have done a good job of closing that gap off of that old hill, but with 34 seconds left to go, I think both of these teams are okay with nobody getting points here. If you're New York, you're not losing any more time, but if you're Boston, they're not encroaching up on that lead that you have so far. So both teams feeling good right now, but that next rotation, it's going to be a big one, Wolfie.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do see Boston. They already have 2 players towards New. We see one getting set up towards that top bedroom and one set up towards those back cars. We do have someone towards that P3 as well, able to lock down those spawns. But we do see a huge surge of New York players coming in here. And they're able to pick up the first with a huge kill from Gun Puppet there on the hut side, as he's going to be looking towards spawners here off the back of P3 as well.
New York SubPar picking up some time right now, but you see the Boston Burgers, they're fighting from a lot of angles here. You see player 2 at that P3 area. Player 1 still locking down top red balcony, and Tej just trying to find anything he can get. That player over top jumps on down, but Tej stays alive. But the fights go the way of the Burgers. See Cloud 18-6 so far. He is most certainly the main slayer for the Boston Burgers. Eric G not far behind, sitting at 12-8. The New York SubPar have just had a tough time keeping up to that slang that they've had so far. So it's going to be interesting to see how the second half of this game goes. But after the first set of rotations, the Boston Burgers clearly in the lead here.
Yeah, absolutely. And they only have about a 40-point lead here heading to P1 if they keep this hill time. It looks like New York's able to pick up a little bit of scrap time, but it's a about the same lead they had going into P2, so it's kind of been an even game through the second or the whole first set of the rotations here. And so New York, I know, is obviously going to be trying to get set up P1 here and make a little bit better showing than that first rotation.
New York SubPar do have the control of that P1, but the fight's still going the way of the Boston Burgers. Tej and RM3 combined for 2. Tej with a second as well. That's a big kill on that third story area. You see Brendy already trying to make sure nobody's sneaking through toward that new side of the map, but Tej and RM3 doing a great job of locking down that P1 for the time being. The game almost gets tied for a second there, but Boston Burgers are able to sneak on through. Now, if you're New York SubPar, I think you most certainly got to work on that Diner Hill. You had it the first time around. You weren't able to get the time that you wanted to get, and they had to use that P3 as kind of a last-ditch effort in order to tie up that game at that point in the game. But now, you see 2D Train. He might be able to poke hole in this rotation. Let's just see how many he gets. RM3 picks it up. So now it's going to be a fight for this new hill. New York SubPar looking like they're in great territory to get a big chunk of time here.
Absolutely. New York's able to pick up 3 of those first 4 kills on that first wave. That's going to buy him about 10 to 15 seconds there on that first hill. And we do see about the same scoreline coming in from P1 here with about 30 seconds here. We see Tej picking up a big kill there towards the bus side, able to pick up 1 back alley there, and that's another wave wipe from the side of New York, able to pick up some much needed time here on P2.
And if they don't clear Tej out of this bottom red area, it's going to be a real tough uphill battle. You see he is able to pick up 1, and the other SMG duo putting in shots, but Eric G is able to sneak on through from the back alley side area. Brendy just contesting this time. They've yet to get the lead, but Brendy waiting for some reinforcements. He's able to pick up Tej. 99 health still to his name, so he can take an extra fight. Brendy, though, he's just trying to contest that time. You see the Boston Burgers, they already rotate to that new hill, so let's see if they can find a big chunk of time here. Last time around, it was Boston Burgers with the upper hand on that rotation, but after kind of an unfortunate spawn for them, they weren't able to get the time that they wanted. Let's see how it goes this time around. Tie game on the second P3. This is going to be a bang out, Wolfie, as they say.
Yeah, absolutely. New York, they don't have the split spawns that they had last time. We do see Boston able to pick up 2 big kills towards junk side. And we do see New York continuing to spawn that junk side. Tej and RM3 are able to pick up 2 huge kills there, 1 on the hill. They're not going to be able to collect this time while they have reinforcements coming through mid. As New York decides they're just going to bust right through mid and bust right through chicken. And it's looking to be a little bit successful here. And as rare as I say that, we see 3 kills coming down from the side of Boston, but RM3 still here fighting.
Yeah, Boston Burgers, I mean, they lose a couple lives on that hill, and it's kind of the same story as it was the time before. They aren't able to get that full 60 that they necessarily wanted. Now that they lose that final 15, it's definitely more of like a neutral hill for the Boston Burgers. They get some time, but you don't get the full 60 that you wanted. Big kill there by Cloud to pick up that final 10 seconds. So Boston Burgers go into this P4 with a 33-point lead. Now, the last time around, Wolfie, we saw that this was a tough hill for either of these teams to get any time on. It's just kind of the way that the hill works, given the top third area. It's hard to find a lot of time here. It's hard to get heads on that hill as well, even if you have that top third side. New York, though, they do a good job of fighting them off. Let's see how many points they get here on this initial hold.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great start from New York here, able to pick up about 20 seconds on this hill so far, able to close that gap that Boston had from that pretty good P3 side. And they are able, like you said, to clear off that top third, able to hop on point, pick up some of these points. But we do see Boston trying to push in from the front. RM3 able to pick up 1 kill with their Renetti here. Unfortunately, doesn't get the next one, but they do still have someone top third on the side of, I believe, Boston, able there to look over towards the side of New York, and Boston's able to pick up the scrap here. As we do see Teach with a huge 2-piece there towards Junk to really secure that rotation for his team, and Cloud's the only player left over towards this chicken side currently.
Yeah, off screen, Teach picks up a huge 2-piece. You saw it on the minimap. I saw it on the minimap. That could be a game-deciding moment if New York SubPar are able to get the time on this hill that they necessarily need. Teach also finds a third as well. You see player 1 trying to pinch in through the top side. He could really be a thorn in the side of the New York SubPar. He puts in shots into 1, is able to get RM3 off of that bottom side of the map, and now he is just going to be a nuisance, but all of those reinforcements going to be coming in from that front side of red. And Brendy's still going to be lurking around. He's able to get 1. He isn't able to get the second. Boston Burgers with a big break right there, retaining their lead, and it's still Cloud, 29 and 13 on the other side. It's most certainly Tej, 22 and 15, matching Eric G's numbers. But if New York subpar, I mean, it's a different story if they're able to hold down the rest of that time. But Boston Burgers make a big play. They fight in through the backside of that hill, and they reap the benefits. That was some interesting movement from both of those individuals right there. But next P1, this is going to be a big moment here, Wolfie. Either of these teams could win. Obviously, Boston Burgers have the upper hand with their 33-point lead, but it's going to be a fight for this P1, and it's going to be a big one.
Absolutely, and we've seen Boston really hold down this P1 very well throughout the game. And right as I say that, we're going to see Brendy pick up a huge two-piece there towards P1, and New York's looking to prove me wrong here with a good P1 rotation on this eventually third side here. And you know, for New York, this game doesn't end here; it ends towards P2. So this P2 rotations are still huge, and we do see two New York players already starting to make that rotate, but we do have a couple one-on-ones coming here towards New. But we're still seeing some big fights going down here with New York able to almost tie it up, and we see Boston with a huge two-piece there, able to take continue to keep this hill, take a pretty big chunk going into P2.
Yeah, and I think New York start worrying about that new hill a little bit too early. They could have really held down the remaining time of that P1, but instead they have some sort of a break. They fight back in for the final moment, so they do get their first lead of the game, I'm pretty sure. So a big turnaround right there, but let's not forget Boston Burgers with that diner side in hand, and Tej is making the play. I'm not sure player one expects this. They do have the information that he's at that back spawn side area. Brendy is able to pick up one. Tej still on that back side. The spawns have flipped now for both of these teams, so Brendy staying alive. So big right here. Tej is able to pick up one. It's going to be one player on the hill. That's going to be Cloud. Tej coming in on behind him. 4 streak for him. There's still more fights to be had. Tej and Brendy combining for 2, but Eric G is here. Can the final trade come on in? Tej can't find him. The Boston Burgers still here, and they can still win it on this. 20 seconds for the win.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been a very mixy P2 here with some split spawns coming. But we do see New York with the unfortunate spawns here, and they really need to get to hill. We got 10 seconds left on the side of Boston, and just got to push through that jump up, and it's an extremely hard place to go through as Eric's just mowing them down as they get over that jump up from the hill. We see 2 seconds till the win. We do see a contest coming down, but we do see Boston with that rotate and eventually the win here on P2. What a great game there. We saw about a 30-second buffer between the teams for pretty much the entire game there, in Boston just able to hold on.
Yeah, a very close map one for both of these teams. We even saw New York take the lead there for a moment toward the end of the game, but the P2 hold was
big fists swinging back and forth towards each other.
Absolutely. We got Boston Burgers on that offensive end to start things out. Let's see which way they're trying to go with it. You see that bomb going toward that B lane side of the map, and Tej already making plays for that bottom middle side. You see it's a B stack for the New York subpar, most certainly. Tej kind of just watching down that underground area, and I'm not sure they've gotten any information so far. Boston Burgers playing it patient, playing it slow, but that Brendy nade on the propane pays dividends.
Yeah, absolutely. Ooh. Propanes are undefeated, just like Gravity here, and we see Arm 3 and Gun Puppet picking up 2 more of their ones there, able to make this a 1v3 with Cloud, seeing if he can clutch up here, and unfortunately I get a fall there to the hut side of New York. Really just played that well. They didn't push up too much, didn't give any info to Boston, and just playing as a team there like we talked, and they were able to win 3 of their ones, and that's all you need to do here on Search and Destroy and give yourself that man advantage.
Yeah, I mean, they smoked that left lane on the map. Obviously, Brendy gets that propane kill, which is definitely a W at the end of the day. If you're Brendy, that's the best case scenario. When they smoke that left side of the map, if you can get a propane kill, you done your job as the left lane holder. But on the other side of the map, RM3 and Gun Puppet finding a pair of kills, 1 each. That's definitely off of good reactions from the team, good comms, and they're doing a great job in that round 1. Let's see what they can do here in the round 2. Tej, get some info on that guy bottom blue. I think that might be the man they need to isolate to start things out here.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't look like they're trying to isolate him. They're trying to just keep him at bay down there in bottom blue and just make sure they isolate a couple of their teammates. We do see some trades going down here with Cloud and Brendy, each able to pick up 1 for their team, respectively, and Arm 3 able to get great read on Eric there, right outside of A propane, and we do see New York here trying to get a little bit aggressive on this A side.
You see player 2 pinching around as well. That's going to be Cloud. See how many he can find to his name. He is able to get 1, another one under that staircase. That's going to be Brendy versus Cloud right here. And how is Brendy going to react in this situation? The bomb needs to be grabbed. And Brendy's moving quick. He finds him right in front of him. But Cloud, I think he hears him drop. And he finds that round win. I mean, that is just going to be a tough pill to swallow for the New York SubPar. Cloud with the 1v2. You most certainly hear the drop. The shots are good. The prone is there. And Cloud picking up where he left off in the map 1.
Yeah, absolutely. What a great read from Cloud there. The audio is not as big in this game as it was last year, and you could still hear those players drop from that distance. And it's a good read from Brendy, but unfortunately the shots weren't there. And Cloud with a great 1v2 there for his team to tie him up here in the search and destroy. And honestly, we're looking towards New York here again, trying to use that teamwork here, and they're going to be stacking this B side just like they did first round. Looks like the exact same setup.
I was going to say the same thing here. You got Tej watching the underneath side, and they most certainly have an idea that he might push this out or just be in that area in general. MWIII and Brendy have kind of swapped spots, it seems. So let's see how Boston Burgers react with that information. Carbon kills with the first blood onto Brendy, so that left side of the map is open. You see Gun Puppet with a kill on the other side, but this bomb is free for the time being. They just gotta maybe get that bad boy down. Tej, though, he might be able to make a play.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see Cloud able to pick up Gun Puppet there towards that helicopter side. And we do see Cloud able to pick up another kill on Tej here. Just absolutely going huge in this map already for his team. And we're only in round 3. And we see MWIII left in a 1v3, bomb down on B site. And we do see a lot of players stacked towards B, so he does have a great opportunity to pick up some 2 or 3 pieces here. And so let's see how he plays this out. He's going to be looking towards his pit side, not able to see anything, but Boston is able to spot him out, and they should go. Looks like they're not chasing as much, but they should be here, able to pick up this kill if they use their teamwork well. And we do see Cloud kind of able to continue where he was off on that map 1, like you were saying, just slaying out and doing his job.
Yeah, he gets a cruise missile in his back pocket as well. Keep in mind, everybody watching, that the Codcaster is a little bit glitched in these round-based game modes. In Hardpoint, the scoreboard is always correct, but in Search and Destroy and Control, it has some tough time doing calculations, I think, to put it lightly, as you see Cloud with 4 kills, but somehow on the 6th streak. If you look in the bottom right of the scoreboard under the name, though, you can see the actual statistics. Cloud 7-1 through these first 3 rounds, so he is off to a hot start. He has that cruise missile, and going up 2-1, you might want to invest that bad boy as soon as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Going up in Search and Destroy, especially on this map too, where you already have a map lead, is absolutely massive. Really demoralizes the other team here. As we see New York taking a little bit of a not standard approach here, trying to attack the defensive side of the map through the staircase, not going down bottom. We do see one wrapping towards the spawn, and that's a big kill from MWIII. I believe that's his 2nd on the round here. Able to open up the map for his teammates, and we see Boston all fall down there. We did have 2D left in a 1v4 there for a second, but not able to do anything as he gets shot in the back here from Gun Puppet. And that's a good statement round from New York. Able to tie that back up 2-2, I believe, here in this high-rise Search and Destroy. And, we've seen the defensive side here hasn't been super great from both teams. We've seen a lot of offensive wins already, and so we're kind of seeing who can really step up on defense.
Yeah, and I mean, now after that round, you got to think the Boston Burgers are going to be having to watch that underground route every single defense now, because New York just used it to their complete advantage. They double hit the bottom side. MWIII picks up 2 from that push, and Tej finds 1 in spawn as well. If Tej dies there with bomb, by the way, it is a catastrophe, but he does a good job of finding that kill. And now Boston Burgers, you see them playing a little bit passive now. They know the New York SubPar have a tendency to potentially get aggressive from what they've seen last round, and now we're playing it slow. But Boston Burgers, you can't wait forever. You still got a minute left to go on the clock, and it looks like Cloud maybe trying to find a first blood, but the battle between MWIII and Eric goes MWIII's way. The trade is there, but that bomb is down.
Yeah, absolutely. That was just some unfortunate timing from the side of Eric, and MWIII just absolutely spits on Cloud there as well. 2D able to pick up the trade there on MWIII, able to bring this to a 2v2 here, but they only got about 35 seconds left. They did waste a lot of time off the initial spawn, just playing it slow. They really have no idea where New York is. I believe number 4 is able there to spot someone green fence going middle. 2D is able to pick up 1. They do know where the last person's at towards A. Gun Puppet's able to pick up 1, make this a 1v1. He has no idea where the last player is, and unfortunately he's going to fall. Boston with a great win there.
I mean, if you watch the top side of the mini map in that round, Gun Puppet and in Cartman Kills had an absolute ring around the rosy in this whole helicopter area. But off screen, I mean, Gun Puppet, I mean, you cannot blame him for not really knowing where Cartman Kills was in that 1v1. It was kind of an awkward situation for him. But Boston Burgers, they go up 3-2. However, I mean, 1-1v1, you can see these two teams are dialed in. They are matching up well, similar to that hard point. You just got to see how do the New York SubPar react on this offensive side.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the defensive round that you know, it's still yet to have from any team, and we do see a little bit of a bottom route here coming out of Tej. We'll see if Boston reads this or if Tej has a great surprise on somebody. And we had two people there for the minute. Unfortunately, Tej is going to get picked up by Cartman, unable to get that kill from that sneaky route.
Yeah, Tej had an opportunity right there to make something happen, but the timing does not go in his favor. On the other side, though, Gun Puppet is able to pick up one. That mantle was most certainly accidental. He finds another one as well onto Eric. Now this A side of the map is completely open, and the B side looks a little bit open as well as RM3 sneaks in through that left side of the map. Now it's going to be Cartman in that back spawn. They have the information on him. Gun Puppet spots him. Not sure if the kill's going to come through. I thought he jumped off the map there, Wolfie. That was a close one, to say the least. New York SubPar find the final kill and another W on the offensive end for NYSP.
He knew exactly what he was doing with that jump off. He knew that ledge was there. He was ready to take that gunfight, but unfortunately, when he hops back up, he's going to get cleaned up there by RM3. And, you know, we have just like we see this a lot with high-rise search, just back and forth, back and forth. No one's able to really take control of 2 rounds in a row. We just see a back and forth here with, I believe, every round being an attacking round. I don't think we've seen a defensive round yet.
You might be right. And I mean, that's an interesting way for a search and destroy to go. Obviously, you see it happen every once in a while, but both of these teams locked in on those offensive ends, just having a tough time kind of stopping this team on the defensive end. But I mean, you see what they do on the brink of that offense. On this break off, the New York SubPar very much so heavily lean toward the B site. They quickly wrap toward A, and it pays off. They already knocked down 2 of the Boston Burger players. They get information on 2D Train as well. Cloud is still alive, so you never want to run into him. So if you're New York, I would say pay this passively. Wait for Boston Burgers to do something, because they do got to get that bomb down. And now 2D is going to be in that 1v4. Another big round for the New York SubPar.
Yeah, and absolutely. That's a huge round for New York. That's 2 in a row for them. There's that defensive win we've been talking about this entire time. And New York just able to finally play together, pick up their 1v1s, just like they did kind of round 1. Able to go huge there, leave 2D in that 1v4. And New York, they've really been taking the life advantage into a lot of these rounds. Unfortunately, they were 1v2'd on one of them. But, you know, if you continue to take these life advantages and search and destroy, eventually it's going to work out for you in the end.
And we were talking about Cloud there for a moment, but RM3 catches on up. 11-4 on a 4 streak. And he's challenging mid. You can see the confidence in his gameplay. He doesn't need a head glitch. He is challenging mid. But back to the regular New York SubPar default offensive push. You see Tej there at that bottom side of the map, and they're just trying to work that B side. You see Gun Puppet puts in some good shots into 2D Train, but Cloud has been put onto underground duty. And New York SubPar, they don't really have an avenue to take. Oh. 2 big kills from the Boston Burgers. Now New York SubPar in kind of an awkward scenario here. Brendy is going to be able to find a freebie onto Eric right there. But another one in front of him. Cartman kills. Will he find the kill? No, he won't. But at least you back off that player for a moment there. Player 3, that's going to be 2D Train on the pinch. Does he have the timing? It looks like he does, but will he spot Brendy? He doesn't. Tej picks him up. 28 seconds left to go. This is a big moment here, Wolfie.
Yeah, absolutely. A great kill there to bring it to a 2v2 here. We see the side of New York looking to opt towards that B side. They do hop on site, and Cloud and Tej are right next to each other. Cloud has no idea. Brendy's able to pick up the kill on Cartman towards A, bring this to a 2v1. We do see a fight going down on the bomb site. Cloud has absolutely no idea where Tej is. He's going to know now. The bomb is planted. He's got to pick one of the corners. Unfortunately, he chooses wrong. And what a great round there from New York. Able to pick up those crucial kills when they need them. Brendy going on that flank, picking up that A side player. And Tej able to clutch up the 1v1 here towards the end.
I think Cloud got a little bit confused in that whole situation. It was a little bit of information overload for him. You know, the smoke goes down, Brendy chows him, the bomb goes down, where's Tej? And Cloud gets a little bit confused. Can't blame him. So much going on there. But now New York SubPar up to a 5-3 lead. They've really turned it up in the second half of the search and destroy here, which is, you know, kind of the opposite of what I said I wanted to see from them. I wanted them to have a hot start, but they really have found their footing here in this series. And this second half of Search and Destroy has been flawless from them. 5-3 lead. We know how dangerous that can be, though, Wolfie. So let's see if New York can keep it up. They do get the first blood, but the trade is there.
Yeah, absolutely. Good trades coming in from both sides. We see 2D able to pick up another kill, but there we go. Another trade able to bring this to a 2v2. We got RM3 and Gun Puppet with Eric and 2D. Let's see kind of how they play this out. We do see New York playing a little bit of passive, or playing passive towards that A site, trying to play together, able to pick up those kills. We see some players kind of running next to each other. Eric's able to pick up the kill on Gun Puppet towards Hut and make this a 1v2 for RM3.
RM3 doesn't spot Eric G either. He's able to find both of those kills in the 2v2 scenario, and the Boston Burgers stay alive here in the search and destroy. Another offensive win for the field here. Eric G, 2 big kills right when the team needs them most. You know, 2v2s, they can go either way, especially on the offensive end. On high rise, anything can happen, so big kills right there out of Eric G to keep the Boston Burgers alive. Now, if you're New York SubPar, I would say you really want to close it out here.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to take this to a round 11. You want to finish it out here, move on to that high-rise control, and continue with the series here. But we'll see how this plays out here. I know Boston's going to be fighting back. They're not going to just roll over and die here. And we do see a little bit of a different split here from New York with 3 towards that A side, but sending the bomb alone towards that B side. This could be very big for Boston if they're able to sniff out at least that player towards B side, get that bomb down, and isolate. But we do see some good shots coming down from Eric, and we do see New York backing up a little bit towards that mid side of the map.
I'm curious on what the plan is here. It looked like New York was trying to throw in some sort of fake, but they're going for the underground strategy again. Wolfie, look at those 2 arrows. They're moving quick. Carbon Kills has been put on the job of watching that, but RM3, he picks where he fights from perfectly, and Tej finds another one as well. Cloud still alive here in the elevator, but RM3 is there. Now a 1v3 scenario for Cartman Kills. New York SubPar with a perfect play when it matters most. It's all up to Cartman Kills in this moment. Can they even the odds here at 1 map apiece? RM3 closes it out. New York SubPar. They close out the high-rise search and destroy in a 6-4 fashion. And they picked a play that worked best for them in the early onset of this game. RM3 14-6. I mean, that was quite the search. Welcome back, everybody, to the Call of Duty Rec League. Here we are, Map 3, High-Rise Control. It's been a very solid series thus far. 1-1 is the series count. Boston Burgers, they look good in the HP, even though it was close. Decided within 25 points, I'm pretty sure. The Search and Destroy, 6-4. So both of these teams matching up incredibly so far. So this control, it's going to be a big one.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw Boston Burgers really slay out on that first map. Although it was a close map, New York's teamwork really helped them stay close here. New York's teamwork really shined here in that search and destroy. We see a huge 2-piece coming in from the side of RM3, able to knock those players off of that B point, able to set up a little bit of a trap here. RM3 is able to pick up another huge kill. Gun Puppet able to pick up huge kill, and again, that's wiping half of the squad out there as everyone is back to spawn.
And we were talking about how strong defense can be on this map sometimes, given that if you do find some solid kills like RM3 is doing on a 6 streak so far, Boston Burgers have just had such a tough time getting out of their spawn thus far. Tej, though, he gets picked up by the propane tank, so that does not bode well for the New York SubPar. RM3, though, he just will not go down on a 7th streak, but now the B point is being attacked.
Yeah, absolutely. They got players on both, and there you go. Tej gets his a little propane revenge there, as we see on high rise here with the propane there on the A side. But we do see Boston closing in on that B side. Looks like they're trying to favor that, but we see New York able to set up on that Gun Puppet with a huge kill on time. Brendy able to pick up the player around, but we do see a 2-piece coming in from the side of Boston. with Cloud and Cartman. And Cartman is able to pick up one hop on point for just a short second. Then he's unfortunately falls to RM3 here. But we do see Eric able to stop this time for just a quick second.
Oh.
But we do see RM3 with a huge kill there, able to pick him off the time.
And RM3 is absolutely looking diffy in the map 3 thus far, but it might be all for naught because with 4.9 seconds left, Boston Burgers find that second tick on the board, and Tej is still roaming around. He isn't able to find that player going up the staircase. The nade there is good, but the trophy blocks it. Boston Burgers, they are able to find it. 12-9 is the life advantage here, so it's time for some players to make some plays. Player 4, that's going to be Eric G up top heli, but I think Cloud is the one to watch because he has flanked all the way through, and he's looking for any NYSP player to find.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big positioning there. As long as his teammates are able to pick up some kills, and unfortunately, it's not looking like that. He is going to spot at least one more, but he should know that nobody's alive. Tej able to pick up 2. RM3 finally able to pick up Cloud there in the spawn as they knew they were missing someone. And we do see one kind of final fight here coming down on the front. Tej just going to run at him, absolutely smack him in the face there towards that second to last kill of New York with a pretty demanding win there on that defensive side.
I mean, I wish the last kill was the beatdown because that was just absolutely comedic out of Tej. Just no other option. Just run him down, bonk him in the head with your gun, and you find the kill. But RM3, an absolutely fantastic round 1 control for the boys. He finds a kill streak as well, but it was really the quickness of RM3 and the positioning he was taking that was allowing him to get those kills. Cartman on the other side, 9 and 8. He was playing very solid thus far, but the rest of the Boston Burgers, they're going to have to pick it up a little bit if they want to win this defense here. But let's see if they are more defensively orientated than they are offensively.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a big round from RM3, able to let his team really just roam the map, get into those spawn traps. And we do see 2 kills coming down here from the side of New York. They are on that B point, able to stop some time here and let their teammates get out of spawn here, try to help towards B side. But we do see Boston encroaching on the hill. Gun Puppet, again, able to pick up a huge kill there. He's stepping up a little bit in this round, able to pick up another huge kill there on B towards that B side. That's 2 ticks gone on B. Watch out, Boston. This B side might be gone.
Most certainly might be. Cloud, though, with a big one. And 2D Train going to find another as well. RM3 is still alive on that A point, and he finds 2. Oh, my Lord. How does he get 3 there? I mean, he's challenging everything. You can see it now on another 6 streak, so he could have used his cruise missile and gotten another one, but he decides not to. I think you might say he's feeling himself, Wolfie.
Yeah, absolutely. RM3 feeling himself on stream. What can you say? His gun hot. Man, he's doing so good here. Able to hop on this point, able to stop the time. Maybe let his teammates try to help out around him, but unfortunately, Burundi falls. Cartman Kill's able to pick up 2 huge kills there towards the B street. 2D able to pick up another, and Tej kind of last left here in this pit side, as Boston's able to take a little bit of time here on this defensive side of high rise, and RM3 able to pick up a huge kill in mid, able to open up a little bit of space for his team, as we do see a contest come down from Tej. Unfortunately, he's going to fall to Cloud.
The Boston Burgers are most certainly still playing well. They've done a fantastic job of thwarting all the pushes of the New York SubPar, but I fear as if one more 4 down or 3 down could result in a point loss for the Boston Burgers. But only 29 seconds left to work with here for the New York SubPar. They do have some heads toward that B side of the map. They're going to have to jump on that point, though. And when 2D Train and Cloud are combining for 2 like that, it's a little difficult to get on the control points. But one last push for the New York SubPar. Let's see what they can do with it, because I'm pretty sure they've tied the Boston Burgers in ticks. But after that round you've had, you want to see if you can at least get a control point.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see Boston able to pick up 2 huge kills there, but New York able to respond back. They have the stack on the point. They're able to pick up this last kill. We see a last contest coming down, and that is the B point secured. I believe that is a 1-tick advantage, like you mentioned, for the side of New York, but you do have another minute here to try to get some ticks towards that A side, and they do have 2 people in that blue side able to make a presence here, but can 2D hold them off towards back hut?
You see Tej trying to take a route through that underground side of the map. He was abusing it well in the search and destroy. Let's see if it works in his favor in the control as well. 2 kills for Gun Puppet and Tej. RM3 finds one on the other side. Now it's going to be 2D Train left alone on the A point. He gets a bad timing. RM3 finds the kill as well. They hop on that point. They got 2 on it. Make it 3 as Brendy comes in behind them. They're going to have to make a full push to get on this point, and they can't do it. The A capture is there. The New York SubPar playing fantastic here in the control.
Yeah, absolutely. Using that teamwork as it comes down to the final few seconds of that round. Able to all hop on point. Shout out to my teammate CK, who never hops on the point. You get 2 nights in a row call-outs because you're so bad at it. But that's a great play from the side of New York. I believe able to get that 3 stack on there and just watch the point fly with 1 tick down.
Yeah, and given the kill cam, you could say that RM3 is 26 and 8 right now, which is just absolutely astounding. Averaging, what is that, 18 kills? Wait, no, I'm faded. My bad. We're not even going to try to do the math. I give up at this point. 13 kills a round for RM3 through these first 2 rounds. Let's see what we can do in this round 3. 0-2 now for the Boston Burgers. They're going to have to win an offense to stay alive, and that is a tough thing to do against this New York SubPar team, but the first break of kills have gone their way. Let's see what they can do behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a huge 2 initial kills from the side of Boston. They overset up a little bit of a spawn trap here. Cartman kills 2 massive kills, 2D, able to pick up the other 2. That's 4 down. The last player in here towards pit, going to be hitting this bottom blue side. You know, we don't see people cover this very often, and Brendy could have an interesting flank here if he chooses to go for it. And RM3 is going to pull out that cruise missile, able to pick up that huge 3-piece with the assist of the propane, and that last player is on B. They're going to hunt him down here, get that kill, and Boston's right back in their spawn as New York's able to push up and get a little bit of that spawn trap going.
The 3-piece cruise missile was not what you wanted to see if you're a Boston Burgers fan. Cartman kills, though, doing a fantastic job of finding Tej out of the spawn. He could have become a nuisance very swiftly. Eric G does a great job of waiting for Gun Puppet, but you still have New York SubPar players to fight on this B point. Cartman kills, though. He's picking up the pace here. New York SubPar, they're a tough team to shut down, though. 20 to 20 life count through the first, first start of this control round. 30 seconds left to go, though. Boston Burgers are going to have to move.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a huge cruise missile out of RM3, kind of able just to reset the round and get New York back up kind of on that top. And that is a 4 dead from the side of Boston. That is not what you want in this control. That's everybody back to spawn. We're going to see, I believe, a huge A push coming out here, kind of their only option with 10 seconds left. Tej able to pick up another kill. That's only 3 players left from the side. RM3 able to pick up 1. 2D able to get the trade. They do hop on the point to stop the clock with 6.4 seconds left. But we do see Tej kind of in the roaming in the spawn, making him worry about it. We do see Cloud kind of last alive here. Tej able to pick him up as well. Last player coming in, and that looks like it's going to be it for the side of Boston. What a huge game from the side of New York. Able to take the momentum from that search and destroy right into this control and just absolutely slaughter the side of Boston.
3-0, not how I expected that control to go at all. The New York SubPar just absolutely came, saw, and conquered here in the map 3. Welcome back, everybody. It looks like we got a full lobby now of players. Everybody's good to go. Sub base HP. New York SubPar up 2-1 in the series as they close out the map 2 and map 3. The map 3 being closed out in dominating fashion as well. Let's see if Boston Burgers can have a solid map of their own like they did in the map 1. It looks like player 8 lets Gun Puppet run on by, but it doesn't pan out well for him. He at least gets 1, but 0-0 is the count now. 35 seconds left on this P1. It looks like Boston Burgers, they care more about retaining the P2 control.
Yeah, absolutely. We see that map kind of flipping outside a little bit there. New York trying to get those spawn flips, but unfortunately not going to work for them. Boston able to pick up a couple kills in the middle map there. They're perfectly fine giving up a few seconds here on P1. 2D's going to be looking to knock Gun Puppet off the point, which he does. He should be able to secure kind of the last couple 10 seconds here. But we do see New York. They kind of gotten through the P2 side, and that's a big 3 kills from the side of New York. We just have Cartman here left in Hill. Can he go huge here for his team? Able to secure at least 1, secure at least 2 from the side of TJ. And can he pick up this kill on Brendy? No, he cannot. Brendy with a big kill there as the spawns are getting a little bit mixy here on subbase.
Yeah, that's an absolutely enormous kill out of Brendy. The trophy does not go as well for him, sadly, as it hits into that glass. And he's putting shots into Tej. I mean, Brendy is all over the place right now, but let's see if we can find any more kills here. They're not getting all the time here on the P2, but they are getting it currently. Let's see which way the kills go. Brendy's still alive, does get cut down by 2D Train, but Gun Puppet there is there for the trade. Looks like Eric's still lingering around. Can he find the kill onto Gun Puppet here? It looks like he will, but the rotation to New is going to be most certainly favored by the New York SubPar.
Yeah, absolutely. And New York's doing exactly what they need to. They didn't push with about 30 seconds left on that hill. They were just able to keep rotations, and that's going to pay dividends for him here as they're going to be up by just a couple points here. We see two players on the side of Boston trying to bust through that riverside. Cloud's able to pick up Arm 3, I believe, in the back, and they're able to bust, kind of get a little split spawn here. But unfortunately, for the side of Boston, New York's able to use that teamwork, able to get some great kills here. But we do see the side of Boston already here, back on the point, ready to fight.
Eric G trying to make a play in through the top side, doesn't find the mantle, so now Tej is going to spot him, but he cuts him down. Nice shots with the rival 9. 2 more to fight through, though, and Brendy's going to be ready for the push. Gun Puppet in such a solid spot here, keeping the Boston Burgers pushed back so far. Oh, no, that was awkward. But it doesn't matter as New York SubPar find a lot of that time. Brendy off to a hot start, 8-4 so far, or 8-2. RM3 picking up where he left off in that control, 8-4. And on the other side, nobody from Boston Burgers has really been activated just yet, so you gotta wonder if that will happen, or will the New York SubPar keep it up, because they are putting some pressure here on this P4.
Yeah, absolutely, and Boston's going to be in control of it kind of at the start, and they really do need a lot of points here to kind of get themselves back in the game. Cloud's able to pick up 1 from that back green side. They are still... And we see an unfortunate spawn out there from the side of Boston. Tej able to spawn right behind Cloud, able to pick up that kill on green fence. And that is worst case scenario for Boston there. You only pick up the first 10 seconds or so. They are able to pick up a couple seconds here as they bust in through the front towards Riverside, as New York's probably not picking up the lanes they're supposed to. But we do see Tej kind of on that wrap like he always is, able to pick up 2 huge kills there. 2D's able to cover him, but what he does not know is that New York spawned right behind him. And this is best case scenario kind of here for New York. With about 20 seconds left, they get those those closer spawns towards P5. Cloud with a huge 2-piece there on Old. That's going to be a good confidence there, as he's only 6 and 8. That should be good going towards this P5.
Yeah, and if you're Boston Burgers, that's definitely a best case scenario there. New York SubPar find a lot of kills on that P4, but they don't necessarily get the time that they could have got. Now, you're in striking distance here of tying up the game here on the P5. Obviously not the easiest hill to hold, especially with the way that New York SubPar is playing so far. They are going to be in control of this time, but Cloud still around. Let's see how many he can find. He knows Gun Puppet's behind that box, but there's just New York SubPar players all over the place. He needs some of his teammates to find the kills first.
Yeah, absolutely. And Cloud's doing his best to stay alive there. Unfortunately, Arm 3 able to pick him up. New York's just kind of been in control of these hard points so far. We got about 30 seconds left on P5. They have about a 70-point lead. Going into this eventual P1, we do see kind of some trades going back and forth between the side of Boston and the side of New York, but eventually New York able to still keep control of that hard point. Unfortunately, 2 of them are going to fall towards that mid-map. We should see a collapse here on P5. Gun Puppet with a huge kill, able to pick up an extra few seconds there. Unfortunately, he's going to fall to Eric, but that is a job well done from the side of New York on that P5, able to extend their lead to about 70 here going into second rotation.
Boston Burgers are going to be able to hop on this hill initially, but yeah, as you said, I mean, this first half of the game has been almost dominated by the New York SubPar. Brendy having a fantastic game, 12-7. And it's just been a team-oriented effort. You see the scoreboard, nobody's really popping off crazy, but they're still very much so in the lead. Similar to the start of the game, Boston Burgers are going to have that P2 control, or at least the side of the map control to start off this P1. But let's see if they can hold it, because when the New York SubPar try to fight toward a hill, a lot of times they're finding those kills, but they're going to have to really find a break here, because Boston Burgers, you don't want them to get back into this.
Yeah, absolutely. We do see Boston. They kind of have that maze control, P2 control here as there 10 seconds left until P2 hits. They're going to get the rest of the scrap time on P1. New York's going to be forced to go through tunnel and garage here. R3 is able to pick up the very first kill, but Cartman's able to get that trade to kind of even things out. But getting through this garage side is very difficult, especially Boston has someone in the back to watch that. We see Arm 3 trying to take this long route here. Gun Puppet's able to pick up 1 in the front. Tej able to pick up another one. Brendy unfortunately falls. Tej absolutely huge. I feel like every time we see him on the kill feed, he's picking up 2. Arm 3 able to pick up the last stored secret. They get the spawns for New. And Tej able to pick up another one as he's playing his life extremely well, picking up kills, playing a little ratty here, but he's doing exactly what he needs to as he's roaming outside the hill.
Yeah, Tej just being the nuisance that New York SubPar needs to kind of apply the pressure to the Boston Burgers. They're about to go up plus 60 points yet again. Let's see if they can make it 70 if they find the rest of this time. We see the Boston Burgers, they've kind of forgotten about this hill. Player 7 is still making a play for it, but player 8 and player 5 starting to worry about this new time. The rotation is there, but New York SubPar, they have created quite the lead for themselves, and they have kept it up as this hardpoint has gone along. It looks like player 2's taking a long route. Let's see how the New York SubPar can initially try to break this hill.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw New York in control of this hill last time, and Boston was able to break them pretty quick. So you're trying to see that. We do see a cruise invested from the side of Tej to try to get those back spawns, but unfortunately, Boston's just going to spawn right up after that cruise missile. New York's still kind of forced to fight through the front here. We do see MWIII with a big kill towards Tunnel, 2D able to pick up someone towards Snow, but we do see Boston able to take the first half of this hill, and that's some big points from them. Unfortunately, they're going to be able to fall, or they're going to fall. We still see New York kind of spawning. MWIII's side, we have a little bit of a mixy spawn here, and Boston, you know, it is an unfortunate spawn out that you lose the kind of last 30 seconds, but you do spawn towards P4, and this can be a very easy 60-second hill for a lot of teams. As we see Gun Puppets, they're the first kind of closest person here. They spotted him, and so they should have the first few seconds of this hill free.
Can they fight the player off top third? Gun Puppet has somehow made it toward the top cat area. Let's see how many he can get. Tej is able to get one. I'm not sure the New York SubPar have any streaks in their back pocket. Tej used it on that P3, but how many more can he find? He is able to find a second. Can he find the player on hill? Eric G doing such a great job of locking down this backside of the map. MWIII able to pick up one. He picks up 2 immaculate kills right there to get the Boston Burgers off of that time. Cloud, though, as long as he's here, the Boston Burgers are safe, and they are slowly but surely clawing their way back into this game. Brendy top third, but with Cloud here, like I said, it doesn't really matter because it's so hard. But as I say that, Brendy flies off the top ropes to find that player off the time, and that really shuts down a good chunk of time for the Boston Burgers.
Yeah, absolutely. That rest of that time for Boston would have been huge. They would have been down by about 20 going into P5, but unfortunately they're going to be down about 40 points here. And we do see New York already set up, not necessarily on the hill, but looking for those initial kills. And as I say that, Eric G is able to pick up 2 huge kills. 2D is able to pick up that third. And Tej here is going to be messing with some snow on his reticle here. A little bit hard to aim there, but in Tej we trust kind of here towards the Taylor side.
Yeah, that snow on the reticle was not very helpful, most certainly. But the Boston Burgers still doing their best to fight back into this game. They kind of have turned it up a notch here in the second half of this game. New York SubPar might be letting it slip a little bit. It's going to be a 3-on-3 hit here as Cloud sneaks on into the time. Going to slide at these players, but MWIII is going to be ready for it as long as you can test. That is a W, but MWIII and Gun Puppet combined for 2. Brendy with the third. Last player alive is going to be Cartman Kills. He's able to find 1, but that's going to be it. And now, if you're Boston Burgers, you got to start worrying about the P1, because not only do the New York SubPar have this P5 time, as long as they are in this area, they got P1 as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Boston, they're in the power positions here for P1. They do have someone bottom maze. They have someone top comms. They had someone top third. Unfortunately, the top third player is going to fall. But we do see New York trying to push through this tunnel side. Can be kind of unfortunate. Can be a little bit of a blunder. So let's see if New York's able to push this out, use their teamwork to their advantage. And just like that, MWIII and Gun Puppet able to pick up 2 huge kills. Just left is the person on hill here. MWIII is able to pick up him. And we see New York get the break here, and all they need is about 20 seconds left, and they're looking to close it out here on this P1.
They want to close out this series in swift fashion. The map 1 didn't go their way, but the next 3 most certainly might. 15 seconds for the Boston Burgers to sneak on in, and New York SubPar are finding all the kills. 2D Train and Co spawn out deep. 5 seconds left. He is able to find 1, but can he contest in time? Brendy's there. Gun Puppet's there. They have to make a final push, and they cannot make it. The New York SubPar close out the map for Hardpoint, and they win the series in a 3-1 fashion. Boy, they look good out there tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. New York had a slow start to map 1. They got a little bit outslayed, had some good teamwork, but we really saw